Now, new tonight at 5:30, Crime Stoppers is offering a reward now of up to $1,000 tonight for information that leads to the arrest of a suspect wanted in connection with some of the recent shootings in the city of Lockport. The suspect is Shamir Allen. The number to call is 867-6161. Now, we told you about the spike in shootings just last week and that he was a person of interest. As part of our report, police gave us this mugshot of him. And as Channel 2's Jeff Preval tells us, the descriptive information the police put on it contained a word that is offensive to many. Today, he asked the chief of police about it.
Police gave us this mugshot. This is 19-year-old Shamir Allen. He's a suspect in several shootings in the city. We looked further on the mugshot and found next to the line labeled complexion that Allen is listed as a Negro. Next to Negro, it reads DA. According to Lockport police, this means dark. So Shamir Allen, a 19-year-old suspect, is listed as a dark Negro in the Lockport police database. We showed the mugshot to 3 black leaders in the city of Buffalo. Eva M. Doyle, a columnist and author who's written thousands of articles on African and African American culture, Erie County legislator Betty Jean Grant, and Frank Messiah, the president of the NAACP Buffalo branch. All 3 were outraged by what they saw.
I think it's ignorant. I think it's a lack of education. I think it's a lack of sensitivity. I think what really bothered me more was using the term dark, because to me that is saying that there's a discrimination there. There's making a difference between the dark skin and the light skin, and that's something that we have struggled with for a long, long time in this country.
This right here is insulting, it's disrespectful, it is inaccurate, it is a word that should have gone away at least since the 1960s. In the 1960s, it became very inappropriate to call someone a Negro.
Apparently, this shows that there's certain aspects of Western New York where it appears that racism is alive and well, especially within a police department.
You may hear or see the word Negro used in a history lesson or when entities like the United Negro College Fund or the Negro League's Baseball Museum are talked about. Negro appeared on the U.S. Census forms and surveys, but was removed last year.
That word was developed on slavery to subjugate, to discriminate, to make people feel bad about themselves.
Today, we questioned Lockport police about their usage of the word Negro.
Aren't police officers aware that that type of terminology can be offensive to blacks?
I didn't know it until I talked to you just now. I don't ever use that term, but I didn't think it was an offensive term regardless.
According to Lockport police, officers in the department use a specific type of computer software to list the complexion of suspects. The department says it's been using the system since 1994 and that it's rarely updated. When officers go to the complexion tab, there are about 12 options to choose from, and among the descriptions are light, medium, and dark, in addition to light Negro and dark Negro. Chief Larry Eggert says some, not all officers, use the terms light and dark Negro. Police say it's not a policy to label blacks as Negroes in their database.
If it bothers people that much, we'll take it out. It's not, again, it's not used as an inflammatory word, as a racially divisive term. It isn't any of that. It was in a drop-down menu that a well-meaning officer picked because he thought that's what the person looked like.
Chief Eggert says that Negro will be removed from the department's database today, if not later this week. Lockport police say they will do diversity training in the next couple of weeks to explain to officers why the word Negro is not acceptable to use. Scott?
You would think by now that software would have been updated after all these years. Jeff, let me ask you, though, in the future, how is Lockport police? How are they going to describe suspects in their database? Did they tell you that?
They did tell us that, Scott. Along with race, all suspects will be listed with a light, medium, or dark complexion. And actually, coming up at 6, you'll hear more from the Lockport police chief. He's going to respond to concerns that some local black leaders have with the usage of the word Negro.
All right, Jeff Preval tonight. Jeff, thank you very much. Well, just last week, Two on Your Side reported on the spike of shootings in the city of Lockport this year. And while we were in Lockport, police gave us a mugshot of a man suspected of some of the shootings. And on the mugshot appeared a phrase that can be offensive to many people. Channel 2's Jeff Preval reports.
Lockport police gave us this mugshot. This is 19-year-old Shamir Allen. He's a suspect in several shootings in the city. We looked further on the mugshot and found next to the line labeled complexion that Allen is listed as a Negro. Next to Negro, it reads DA. According to Lockport police, this means dark. So Shamir Allen, a 19-year-old suspect, is listed as a dark Negro in the Lockport police database.
When you showed this to me, I thought this was something that happened many, many years ago. For African Americans to be described today as a Negro, and I think it's certainly an insult to be described in terms of a black, dark Negro.
The word Negro was used mostly in the slave days, and according to Doyle, is rarely, if ever, used in modern-day conversation. Today, we questioned Lockport Police Chief Larry Eggert about the department's usage of the word. He's been with the department 34 years. For the past 6 years, he's led the department.
Why are police officers within the Lockport Police Department using terms such as dark and light Negro to describe black suspects?
Why are they doing it? Because it's in the drop-down menu.
Aren't police officers aware that that type of terminology can be offensive to blacks?
I didn't know it until I talked to you just now. I don't ever use that term, but I didn't think it was an offensive term regardless.
Eggert's referring to a specific type of computer software that officers use to list the complexion of suspects. When officers go to the complexion tab, there are about 12 options to choose from, and among them, descriptions such as light, medium, and dark are listed, in addition to light Negro and dark Negro.
I think that the Lockport Police Department must have been in a time warp. They failed to see that time had changed.
We're living in a time warp?
Lockport Police.
Well, I disagree with that. This is a program that's 20-some years old, hasn't been updated. Is it our fault? Well, sure it is, but we're certainly not living in a time warp. We're very sensitive to all the issues in our community, including racial issues.
And I want them to know that as an African American in 2014, that it is not acceptable for them to use dark or to distinguish color, but use the terms that we are using and familiar with today.
It's going to be removed. And we won't use it again because now we know that there are people in the community, a significant number of people apparently, who are offended by this word.
And Chief Larry Eggert says some, not all of his officers, use the terms light and dark Negro. Eggert says Negro will be removed from the department's database today, if not later this week. Lockport police say they'll do some diversity training in the next couple of weeks to explain to officers why the word Negro is not acceptable to use. And in the future, all suspects, along with their race, will be listed with a light, medium, or dark complexion. Jeff Preval, Channel 2 News.
Well, we first told you yesterday on Twitter that the Lockport Police Department had been using terms to describe black suspects that can be offensive to many people. And since our report aired, police say that they are taking steps now to remove these terms from their own database. As our Jeff Preval reports, there's an effort already underway to make sure that the offensive language doesn't exist anywhere in agencies that rely on taxpayer dollars.
For years, some officers at the Lockport Police Department were using the terms dark Negro and light Negro to describe black suspects in their database. These are outdated terms that are usually used only for historical purposes. This is one Lockport police mugshot that lists a male suspect as a dark Negro. Many black leaders we talked to find the term offensive.
I think what really bothered me more was using the term dark, because to me that is saying that there's a discrimination there, there's making a difference between the dark skin and the light skin, and that's something that we have struggled with for a long, long time in this country.
Yesterday, we spoke to Lockport's police chief, Larry Eggert, who told us no one at the department thought the terms were offensive. Eggert realized that the terms were insulting and says officers will undergo diversity training to learn why the terms are unacceptable and why they'll be removed from their database. Currently, the Erie County Legislature is in recess, but when legislators reconvene in September, legislator Betty Jean Grant plans to.
What I can do is I can write a resolution and send it to the Niagara County legislature, ask them to condemn this kind of behavior, this kind of word that they're being used.
Grant plans to put forward the same resolution before the Erie County Ledge for a vote, and she doesn't plan to stop there.
I can memorialize the state to make it a law, that any police department charged with the protection of people, of citizens, those who are arrested and those who are not, to not use demeaning and offensive words in their arrest or their description.
This would require state lawmakers in the Senate and Assembly passing a bill to this effect. In addition to police departments, the resolution would apply to any agency that relies on taxpayer dollars. Legislator Dennis Virtuoso, a Democrat, is minority leader of the Niagara County Legislature.
I think we all agree that that term is outdated, and that African American is more of the correct term nowadays to use.
Now, we reached out to all members of the Republican caucus of the Niagara County Legislature, and Republican legislator Clyde Burmaster told me by phone that the Republican caucus would want to see the full resolution before voting on it, but that ideally Democrats and Republicans could both agree on this effort. Jeff Preval, Channel 2 News.
Well, we first reported to you back in July that the Lockport Police Department had been using a term to describe black suspects that many people found to be offensive. A local lawmaker has been working to make sure the language is not being used in Niagara and Erie County. Channel 2's Jeff Preval reports on whether there's been any support for the effort.
Dark Negro. That was the term that was used to describe a black suspect in the Lockport Police Department's database. Back in July, Lockport Police told us some officers were using this term to describe African American suspects in police reports. The department also used the term light Negro if the suspect had a lighter complexion. When many local black leaders learned this was happening, they were outraged.
I was very disappointed and dismayed and kind of shocked to see that word, which I hadn't seen in modern day printing, publishing since the 1970s.
Lockport Police blamed the issue on outdated software police use. The department says it did not intend to be hurtful and quickly removed Negro from their database. But legislator Grant wants to make sure this language, if it appears in any other police department in Erie and Niagara County, that the language be erased.
All these different agencies need to be scrutinized, see if they in fact have any language that could be construed as being racially insensitive or being discriminatory.
Grant has filed a resolution in the county legislature Public Safety Committee asking Erie County Central Police Services to confirm that it's not using offensive terms such as Negro in any police reports. The resolution also asks the county to contact every police department in the county, encouraging them to check their systems and erase this offensive term if it's found. If the resolution gets out of committee and is passed by the Erie County Legislature, Grant plans to send the resolution to the Niagara County Legislature for it to be voted on there. Republican legislator Ed Rath is the chairman of the Public Safety Committee.
I'm absolutely supportive of Legislator Grant's resolution. To me, it seems like a common sense resolution that all of us would be supportive of in the legislature.
Now, the next step that Legislator Grant needs to take to get this resolution passed is ask the Commissioner of Central Police Services to answer questions before the Public Safety Committee. Mary Alice.
And Jeff, any idea when all that could happen?
Well, really quickly here, actually in the next few weeks, Legislator Grant plans to have the commissioner come to a committee meeting and then put the resolution up for a vote in committee.
All right, very good. Jeff Preval, thanks for your report.